All right, welcome back. We got a special update today. Today we're going to talk about the recent developments with Elon Musk, Tesla, Delaware Judge. We're going to get into all of it. So this is a little bit of a different video. I'm not going to get political. Politics is something I care very little about. It's a big circus. It's something you have to pay attention to. But just know I don't favor one side or the other. They're both equally disgusting. I just want people to do the right thing for society and for themselves. So with that being said, let's get into my notes here. This is what I spent the weekend doing a lot of research on. If you listen to the All In podcast, great podcast. For me, it's a must listen every week. They had a segment on this that was really good, and I highly recommend listening to that. So let's just get right into my notes here. So everyone hates Elon. I don't know if you guys watched the show Everyone Hates Chris. That was a show I used to watch. It was about Chris Rock when he was a kid. So anyways, let's get into it. A Delaware judge recently voided a $55 billion compensation package awarded to Tesla CEO in 2018. So that is what happened last week. This judge said, hey, that pay package that you were promised in 2018, void. The ruling came after a lawsuit was filed by a shareholder who had 9 shares back in 2018, 9 shares, who claimed that Musk had close ties to the Tesla board and had too much influence in the negotiations. So you'll hear a lot of people talk about Tesla board and how it's not a legitimate board. And I see their argument. I mean, Tesla's board, when you think about how some of these boards are founded, these are people that have invested in the company, people that know Elon's brother's on the board. So they do have close ties to Elon, 100%. But you got to remember where this company came from. They were a small startup company that almost died 20 times, right? So the people that were there sticking around, of course, are going to be people that know Elon and believe in Elon. So now that they're huge and massive, it sounds like the courts and Wall Street people want the board to be turned over to suit and tie. I'm here to represent BlackRock. Those kinds of people. So it seems like, and listening to so many earnings calls and lawsuits that go on with Tesla, seems like there's these people that are trying to work their way into the board so they have a little bit more say in how things are run there. So that's just my perspective on the board, because you'll hear a lot of people bashing the board saying it's not legit. His brother's on the board. How is it legit? So I do see that point, that it's not a traditional board, but to me that doesn't mean that they're incompetent and that they're out there to screw people over, right? They have a vested interest just like you do as a shareholder and just like Elon has. So let's move on. A judge found that the pay package was not fair to shareholders and that the Tesla board failed to prove that it was. The judge also noted that the compensation plan was the largest in corporate history and that Musk's control over the company played a significant role in the outcome. He's the CEO. Of course, his control is going to play a significant role in the outcome. So the ruling has left the Tesla board with the task of negotiating a new pay package that has the approval of shareholders and Musk. So recently, Elon said on an earnings call, and I think even before then, that he wants to have a larger ownership stake to really ramp up AI, because he doesn't want to have a minority share, make some crazy AI, and then someone comes in the board and says, hey, Elon, you're gone. We're going to do this with the AI or whatever. So I think he kind of saw what happened with OpenAI. And it's like, I'm going to create this big monster. I want a little bit more control just to make sure that someone doesn't, someone naughty doesn't take it over or whatever. So there's going to be more that comes out with all of that, the pay package. It's interesting timing that he comes out and asks for a different pay package right when this happens. So this big bad pay package, let's talk about it. Because from my understanding, Elon Musk has never taken a salary. He's been paid $1, but he gets paid in incentives in stock. So let's break down the pay package. The pay package was worth $55 billion making it the largest compensation plan in history. Sorry for my speech. I'm not the smartest guy out there, okay? But these are my notes, so give me credit for that. So 55 billion, that's a big pay plan. And again, he's getting all this in a lump sum if he reaches these incentives. The package was approved by Tesla's board in 2018 and included 12 performance milestones. So for Elon to get that 55 billion, he had to complete these 12 milestones. I don't have all of them here, but I have the important ones here. The milestones were split evenly between market cap and operation targets. So meaning the company has to go from 10 billion to 100 billion, and they also have to be profitable. There's EBITDA numbers, there's all these revenue targets, things like that. So the market cap required Tesla's value to reach specific targets, starting at 100 billion and increasing in 50 billion increments up to $650 billion. So again, this is in 2018. People today will tell you that Tesla's garbage and it's stupid, it's all a scam. Elon's gonna put a chip in you and you're full of shit. Excuse my language. So what were they saying in 2018 when there wasn't a Model 3, there wasn't a Model, I don't know if they had the Model Y, they only had the S and the X, I believe. They didn't have the Giga Texas, they didn't have full self-driving. It was just a car that you plugged into the wall. So it seemed, unbelievable that this company could possibly get to $650 billion. There's clips out there on CNBC when this was announced in 2018, everyone laughing. Why is he not taking a salary? These goals are way out of reach. They'll never happen. Never ever happen. So, let's just read this last little couple points here. In 2014, a Delaware judge voided the pay package. We know that. Saying that it was excessive and the board failed to prove that it was fair to shareholders. So, because this was so big and bad, now they're saying null and void. But again, he had to increase the value of the company from 10 billion to 650 billion. So again, this is 2018. Look at this stock chart. 2018, we're at $20 a share, and now and Tesla's in the dumps right now, and it's 185. It's been as high as 300, and it's been as high as 400. So I mean, he's like 800x the stock. What is that? If we go from 2018, come on, where's my measuring stick? February 2018. I mean, 2,000% at the peak, right? Where are we today? 800%, and we're in the dumps. We're in the dog days right now. 800% increase. I mean, give the man some billions. Give him 55 billion. That's not what I wanted to pull up. That's the thumbnail. If you're watching this video, you've already seen that. That took me like 30 minutes, so give this thing a thumbs up. So, anyways, he was promised this package that the board approved, and the board, if you're the board, I understand how they're saying this is large and it's unfair, but if you're on the board and you're a shareholder, are you complaining about 800%? I mean, unless you're short the stock, which a lot of people were, then I'd be suing, but you don't have a case there. So anyways, they gave him a package that was so unconventional because it was tied to all these metrics. And, one thing that was talked about in the All In podcast and is super interesting to me is a lot of these CEOs that are in there, they get these big packages and their companies suck. So they use the example of GM, and I mean, I don't want to pick on GM, but their stock sucks. Their company sucks. Their product sucks. But their CEO is making hundreds of millions of dollars a year, whereas GM. And they have increased shareholder value diddly squat. If anything, they dilute the heck out of shareholders. And the way that it works for a lot of these CEOs is they can gamify the system. They can issue shares, they can buy back shares, they can, use debt. They can do all these things to pump up the numbers and make them all phony baloney so they can get their bonus. They can hit their target. Tesla doesn't really do a lot of that. They did a little shenanigans with Bitcoin. They do a little shenanigans, but not as much as these other companies. I don't know where the heck GM is. GM, where are you? I typed you in and you said you were here. Is that not your ticker? Oh well. So there's a lot of financial engineering out there, and Tesla's the company that did it more legit than most. So if we look at a chart of GM, it's flat. There's no 800% increase. There's no 80% increase. It's flat. And they haven't really done anything, innovated anyway. They still make basic garbage cars. So what I want to get to here is I think this is part of a bigger thing that's been going on. And we've just seen story after story, attacks on Elon when it comes to the pay package. We had the FTC block a Starlink deal. So the government made a deal with Starlink saying, hey, we want you to provide satellite to areas where it's not there, and we want Starlink to do that. Here's a big contract. They pulled that back and they went with AT&T or someone that's going to do fiber. Instead of having Starlink there today for, I want to say it's 10x the price of this other contract that they're going. So government money is going to have to pay 10 times more, and these people that need internet today are going to have to wait a long time because putting fiber in the ground is not easy. I did that for about a year of construction. You got to trench under sidewalks. You got to do a bunch of garbage to get fiber in. That's not an easy process. So that's another attack. It was an attack. It was, we don't like Elon, so let's not give Starlink money. Let's go somewhere else. There was this investigation that Tesla bought Elon a glass house. Biden not inviting Elon to the White House and praising GM for starting the electric vehicle revolution. So the White House had an EV summit. They didn't invite Elon, and they were sitting there saying how Ford and GM are the best and the leaders. They're the spearhead of the EV revolution. And the unions don't like Tesla, but I wrote that wrong. But the workers do. So the reason that Tesla hasn't unionized is because all those workers, every employee of Tesla gets stock. Wouldn't you want some of that instead of a union that you got to pay $100 in and you get back $60? They take $40. What else is on here? Elon is on drugs. I saw something today. There's some article saying Elon Musk is on drugs. He's a crazy man. He's wild on Twitter, but that is what it is. So wrapping this up, because I'm rambling on here, I think what's going to happen is Elon's going to try and incorporate in another state, maybe Texas. So we'll see how that goes. He's going to get a new pay package. The man has done a lot of work. I mean, we've all heard the stories of him sleeping on the factory floor when Tesla was in production hell. And I mean, you look at the product, you look at the company. I mean, if you look at those factories, unbelievable. And what he's doing for, America is great. I mean, my Tesla, 90% of it was made in California in Fremont, 3 hours away from my house. The rest of it was made in Canada and Mexico. So to me, that's great. That provides a lot of people jobs. The Fremont factory is one of the largest plants in North America, maybe if not the largest. And then we've got the Texas plant coming on. You've got 2 big plants in Nevada. I mean, those are great jobs that are here. So my final thoughts is Elon is anti-legacy media, and the government's pushing back on that. So the government and the media, they like to control the narrative, and he's thrown a big fat monkey wrench because ever since he bought Twitter, all this stuff has been coming down on him. So it's not going to stop here. There's going to be more stuff. And Elon's not a saint. He's a crazy man. He's a psychopath. But he's a genius at the same time who produces good products and services and has created a great company for our country. So you take the good with the bad. So the Twitter files expose a lot of things that these legacy institutions don't want out there. We know that. And also, because we have a somewhat decentralized media source, it empowers the individual to be less reliant on Fox News, CNN, this old school style of getting news. So, and also, I don't know if you guys are on Twitter or X, how many citizen journalists have popped up now? So I think that's good. I think, a lot of them are probably not who you want to get your everyday news from, but, it's interesting to see other people's opinion, and it's great that it's out there. So he said this, and I agree with this. The definition of free speech is to have someone say something that you don't like, but it's out there. I don't have to listen to it. I'm going to watch the Niners on Sunday. I don't like the Niners, but they're there. I'm not going to turn the TV off because I don't like that team. So, anyways, I'm done rambling. That's my 2 cents here. I just wanted to give an overview here because you're going to hear a lot about this down the road. There's going to be a lot of stuff going around, and I don't know what the spin is going to be. Elon's overpaid. He's a crazy man. He doesn't deserve 55 million or 55 billion, but in reality, the biggest point I didn't talk about is it's so unbelievable that a contract or a pay package could be assigned. This guy goes out there, puts his cojones on the table, and does all these things, getting paid $1 a year to do all these things. And when he completes them, they want to say, nope, that's too much. Give us the money back. That just, to me, I'm like, that's so like anti-capitalist American. Like, it makes no sense to me how that's something that happens here. That sounds like something that would happen in Russia. So, anyways, again, I'm not political. I don't have a side. But because of finance, you have to pay attention to this stuff. And it's just sad. It's just sad how people are so, my team, your team, bad. It doesn't make any sense. We're all on the same team. So that's all I got. If you're still watching, I appreciate you. Hit that like button and peace out.